We'll move on to the snatch, and that's a little bit more complex. That takes the bar from a floor position to the overhead without that middle transition. So we're going straight overhead, and it requires a slightly different grip. Okay, so let's discuss the grip first. Again, it is a hook grip that we're working with, but it's a wider position because of the way we come in contact with our hips. Without that transition at the shoulders, we have to create more motion. So in order to find that width, we're going to grab the bar and we're actually going to hip hinge. Okay, that bar should be right in that crease of the hip, and then we want straight arms. So you're going to see this is going to be a wider position, that we have nice straight arms, internal rotation in that hip crease, and then you can come back up. That's where you found that position. So go ahead and demonstrate that for me, Austin. So Austin already knows roughly where his hands are going to be. He's done this before. Go ahead and stand up and just do like a hip hinge for me. Just stand up and bend over. And as you can see, now his arms are straight. He's in this position. This is where his width is. So if you've got longer arms, you just work your way out, and then shorter arms coming in slightly. Normally you're going to use a pretty good width of the bar on this. From there, let's start at the bottom. Let's put that weight back down, and very similar to the clean, we're going to start up by approaching that bar, feet even pressure through heels, toes, the bar covering pretty much the center of your foot with the start of the laces. There should be a gap between the bar and your shin, and as you descend, grabbing that bar in that position that we just found, those shins should move forward, angle forward into the bar, coming in contact. The knees should be advanced of the bar, they should be ahead of the bar. The hips higher than the knees, a nice straight back, shoulders slightly higher than your hips. Shoulders in front, internal rotation and pressure in those quads. Okay, so this is hard even to get into this position. Austin's feeling it there. Okay, so pressure in those quads, nice strong lat engagement. Keep that bar nice and close to you. The deadlift portion, that initial pull, very similar. Okay, we're going to go slowly. We're going to have those knees go back and out, clearing the path for this bar. What we tend to see again, if you go too far forward, we're going to put that pressure onto the toes, and then we're going to have movement created in between you and the bar. Your hips are probably going to raise too high. If you're leaning forward, hips are too high. Again, you cannot generate as much force if you've taken away their flexion and extension capabilities. If you're too far back, like a deadlift, just as I said in the clean, we now have to get around our knees, and it's going to pull forward, taking away, creating distance and taking away strength that you have in the body. So a nice slow pull from that snatch position, lat engagement, internal rotation in those arms. Good, nice and tall, nice and slowly past. Knees go back and out, bar goes vertically up. Now you can see here, it goes a lot higher into that hip crease because we've got this wider position. This is where we do the same thing as in the clean. We do this triple extension, we do the shrug, this upright row. Everything's propelling the bar up as fast and as hard as possible. But we have to be patient. We have to make sure the bar gets to that position before we extend. If we do it too early, your thighs are going to hit the bar and it's going to come forward. Okay? Too late and you've lost the momentum of the bar. So right as it makes contact, we toes, knees, hips, all extend. We shrug, upright row, trying to keep the elbows higher than your wrists as long as you can. Then the violent turnover where we extend, we pull ourselves under the bar, we extend up, internal rotation in those arms, and lock out, holding the bar above our weight, above our body. So let's see it all the way through, and then we'll break down that upper portion. It's hard to do slowly to break that down, so. Good. Excellent. And so we're catching overhead, arms locked out, weight in the shoulders. Again, have to be patient. If you extend too early, the weight goes out in front, and now we have to jump in front and chase that bar underneath. We also don't want to pull back. If we pull our body back, we create distance between ourselves and the bar. We're already internally rotating this arm. It's hard to get really close, so we don't want to create distance. We want to be as close as possible, creating a nice straight line of pull and a more efficient power production. Okay, so once we've pulled it as high as we can, we want to then drop and jump underneath as quick as possible into a wider squat position. Remember, we started in a pull position. We catch in a squat position. So we're slapping those feet down in a wider squat position. Nice and balanced. Again, you're going to try to catch it above the very bottom position. Absorb that weight into the bottom position before standing back up. The arms, like I said, internally rotated, locked out overhead. We want the wrist to be extended. We actually want to hold the weight back on our wrists. That's going to be a better position for us. We don't want to hold it in front. It's likely to pull the weight forward and we're going to drop in front. Let's demonstrate the whole thing again, Austin. So we're set here, even pressure, shins come towards the bar, everything advanced, nice and tight, slowly pull, explosive triple extension into that position, nice and balanced, and then standing up. Now if we create too much distance, like I said, we may have to chase the bar. If we land and our pressure is too far onto our toes, or we try to not to descend with the hips, keeping our torso upright, if we try to go under and grab the bar with our chest, we're going to be a very bad position for our arms. Okay, it's going to be bad on those shoulders. You're not going to be able to succeed with that. The weight's going to go forward, and you're going to fail. If we pull back too far, and when we land, our weight's in our heels, we're going to drop back, and again fail the lift. So we want to have even pressure, core in that position. Knees are going out nice and wide, getting good hip engagement, toes are out wide, holding that weight, looking forward the whole time. So our eyes are always facing forward, straight in front of us. Let's do it one more time. Excellent. And that's the snatch. So you can break this down into probably about close to 15 different drills with the snatch, going from the floor, going through that triple extension where we're creating that movement, the high pull, overhead, pressing overhead. I guess that wasn't one thing we covered actually at the beginning. You got to make sure that you can catch that snatch in the overhead position. There's no point throwing it if you can't able to do that overhead position. So in order to do that, what we'll do is actually put the bar on our back. So go ahead and just do a clean press over into the back rack position. Excellent. So from this position, we're going to go grab that wider snatch position. I should have showed this earlier and I kind of skipped over here. We want to be able to make sure that we can get we have shoulder mobility and we can have the internal rotation extension above the head. So go and press overhead, just a small dip, an explosion overhead, and we know we can get this position, so we know we can get the end position. So if you can't do that, we need to work on your shoulder mobility before you even try the snatch. If you can achieve it there, then again, we want to try to squat. Can you do the overhead squat? Are you strong enough in the legs? Can you create the balance to achieve that getting that weight in that end squat position? So we're there, overhead, getting our snatch grip. Okay, hook it, excellent, overhead. And then nice overhead looking forward, nice tight core. Knees are wide, we're balanced, excellent, coming back up. We've got it, we know that we can start this snatch from the floor, exploding up, and we are going to be successful. If we throw it in the right place, we can catch it. Okay, so then we go through all of those technique and cues that I've mentioned earlier and achieve that snatch.